I'd like to demonstrate the structure of the heel attachments for the Spike Bulldog. This is the single spring heel attachment. It attaches to the toe box in these holes here, attaching further back, more active, also adjusts for longer boots, and further forward, less active for smaller ski boots. The upper row is for less active, and the lower row attaches the heel attachment so that there's more of an angle going up to the boot, and creates earlier spring load when initiated teleturn. Notice on this 75 millimeter norm assembly, the heel attachment is bolted to the fourth position. That seems to be one of the more common positions that I'll attach the heel assembly to. Sometimes I go to fifth position for Mondo 29, and Mondo 26 or less, I'll go to a third position. The structure of the heel assembly is this front bolt here holds the assembly together essentially. There's the spring inside the assembly. There's room for quite a long spring here. Just pop out this retention pin, and in this case here the spring comes off, and it can be replaced with shorter or heavier spring or lighter spring depending on skier's preference. We can adjust the preload by putting the spring pin further back or further forward in the holes in the spring bar. In this case, it's going to be a moderate preload. That's the single tube assembly. The double tube assembly is essentially the same, except we use a double spring bar in this case. The plastic parts are the same, and the heel throw is two holes to accommodate double springs. In this case, we have a double spring, and the advantage is can make the binding more active. I can also put a lighter spring in the assembly, which provides more travel for longer ski boots, so that you get the binding to not bottom out when going into a deep teleturn. So with this assembly, I use a longer screw across the front of the screw across the front of the casing. It's a little hard to start there in this case because the screw was cut off, but you get the idea. And then the heel throw adjusts by sliding along this the spring casing, and the adjustment again adjusts along the spring casing like this. The bracket screw across the bottom here tightens the heel throw on the spring casings in a certain position. So this boot here, see, this would be generating a fair amount of preload here. If I move it back a little further, as you step down, you'd be generating a little less preload. That's probably a pretty ideal position for the heel throw. So I'll go ahead and tighten that there. So for the step in, basically step down hard and the heel throw just pulls back. You can see here, you know, some spring tension, some preload that's generated by stepping into the binding. And again, if the heel throw is adjusted further forward, you'll develop more preload. If it's adjusted further back, less preload. And to get out of the binding, just push down on this with your ski pole and pull up your heel, and then of course untoggle there, and you're out. The heel plate here has a small catch here that mates with this hook on the heel throw, and that's for carrying the bindings without the heel assembly flipping around.